Well, here we have the new Asymod 19-inch rack mount console. This was specially designed for Dr. Fox. Specially designed for his needs. This unit includes something new that we added, a station ID, that every time you key up your mic, your station ID comes on the air. The station ID is programmable. In other words, you can change it and record a new one. So here we have Dr. Fox's Stryker SR955, which he had put the Asymod 3S various years ago, and he wanted to upgrade to the Asymod 6, and at the same time mounted on the 19-inch rack mount unit and install the Asymod standalone, but in a version similar to that of the standalone high power unit that has all the necessary functions for a hi-fi station. Inside the radio, we've done all the necessary connections. We've installed this relay right here to kill the AF output of the radio going into the Asymod unit due to the fact that the radio itself has audio leak between TX and RX, and to avoid that TX audio coming into the receive line, we had to install that relay right there. We have our AM demodulator right here, our TX RF sampler coming out of right here into this coax. It's coming around to the BNC, which hooks up to this rear BNC, and it'll be available at the front panel right there. And the other side of the radio, we've installed our VFO wine. We've installed some caps for extra filtering that was actually needed, and the speaker enable disable relay, which is controlled by the speaker switch over here. This allows to kill the speaker audio when using the headphones over here, so you get no feedback. When using the radio normally, you could just disable the speaker and use the radio as it is. When you're using your headphone and monitoring yourself and monitoring the receive signal, then you might probably want to kill the speaker so you don't feedback. So in this particular unit, we have included a station ID, which is reprogrammable. You can record your own station ID when the station ID is on the on position. Every time you key up the mic, the station ID comes out. The station ID can be reprogrammed by pressing this switch, that small micro switch. Once you press it, the station ID recorder, which is this one, will accept audio from an audio source via this connector right here, and you can record your own station ID. And of course, you have your record function and your playback function for on the air recording. You can record up to 120 seconds. The controls are right here, input and output controls, the same with the station ID recorder right here. There's your input level, output level, input level, output level. Pretty much you have all the other standard controls for the Asymod in the bottom. Your gain, your modulation, carrier, and asymmetry control. Over here on the top, you have your monitor mixer, which you can select from your receive audio or your transmit audio, or you could mix them right in the middle where you're comfortable, and you could listen to yourself and listen to the incoming audio on the receive side at a comfortable level where they both are equal. On the receive side, You can control that also by the volume on the radio. Once you set the volume on the radio to a set level, you should leave it there and just balance it from here. On the transmit side, on the TX side, you can select whether to use the line audio coming out from your audio processor or your demodulated audio that's coming from the demodulator on the radio. Here you have the demodulator tone control. Clockwise would knock down your highs, counterclockwise will give you full spectrum of the audio. And the monitor level, of course, will be the level of both receive and transmit audio coming out of your headphone jack here. You got the AM indicator, sideband peak indicator, and your transmit indicator here. Also, you have your whine effect switch here, which you could turn it on or off anytime. On AM, it'll create the heterodyne that'll give you the VFO whine effect.
The Dr. Fox Special Edition 19-inch rack mount Asymod console.
Looking at the rear of the unit, we have our line in connector, our ground connector, our amp keyer, our line out, that's to record line level, your HDMI connector for your transceiver control, and your station ID record jack. We've also included in this unit a trim pot for the carrier, which will set your max carrier limit. And we've also included a trim pot for the demodulator audio level so it can mix properly, depending on the usage of the customer. This unit is also equipped with a TDA 2003 audio amplifier, so it's separate from that of the radio's TDA 2003 audio amplifier altogether, and they work independently. Taking a look behind the radio, we have our RF sampler output, BNC cable. We have our HDMI connector cable coming out. You got your power. You have your PTT jack for your mouse PTT, and you have your ground connectors, which is very important in this installation. You need good ground. You need good ground for perfect audio. So we'll move on, assemble the unit, and start giving it some test runs. To use the record playback function on this unit, just simply press the record button and let go, and it'll start recording until you tap it again. To play back, you just simply press the playback button, and it'll play back until you interrupt it by tapping it again, or it'll stop by itself once the recording is finished. The station ID feature is programmable, and once the station ID switch is on the up position, on the on position, and you key up the mic, every time you key up the mic, the station ID will come on the air. To disable the station ID, simply turn it off. The speaker on switch is to disable the speaker when you're using the front headphone jack to monitor yourself and the incoming received signal. To avoid feedback, simply turn off the speaker and you're good to go. You'll be using now your headphones. When you want to use the radio as a regular radio, just turn on the speaker, disconnect your headphones, or you don't have to disconnect your headphones. The VFO whine, once you turn the switch on the on position and you're on AM, the moment you click your microphone, your frequency will shift about 3-4 kCs, creating the heterodyne effect that gives you the VFO whine effect when it goes up against another signal. Over here, we have installed a trimmer pot for your demodulated audio that allows you to trim it to where you can actually get both levels, receive and transmit, at the same level. Over here we have installed another trimmer pot that pot is for the carrier. It'll allow you to set the maximum carrier. In other words, you can set the unit not to exceed a 5-watt carrier. So again, here you can control with the monitor mix. You could control the mix between the received audio and your transmitted audio, and the TX monitor line and demod switch would allow you to choose to monitor your line-in audio or your demodulated audio over here on the TX side. This is Demodulator Tone. That's the tone control for your demodulated audio, and that is the monitor, your volume control for your headphone output jack. And like in any other standalone setup, once you install your line-in connector, you disable your front mic, and now you're using your audio process chain through the line-in. And once you unplug the line-in connector, your microphone or your hand mic is activated, and now you can use the radio using the front mic jack. In case internal adjustments need to be done, such as the carrier trim or the demodulator trim, easy access holes have been drilled on the side that take you directly to the cover screws. You could just take them out, open it up, and you're inside. So easy, quick access for internal adjustments. Well, here we are. We've been setting up to do a few tests and try out the Dr. Fox Special Edition 19-inch rack mount Asymod console. So we have the Presonus 2 pre in line settings, as you can see. We've installed a few presets on the DEQ 2496, starting off by the settings of the NU9N settings, variation thereof, pretty much, and the graphical equalizer here. That's to taste. You could tweak it around to where you like it. We're gonna do a little test run, see how it works out. We'll be recording in Sony Vegas over here, running the RE20 into the Presonus 2 Pre, into the 2496, into the Asymod, into the Stryker SR955. Okay, so we'll begin by doing the basic settings on the Asymod on the transmit side. We'll set up our signal generator over here in Pro Tools, and once we set it, then we'll switch over to the DEQ 2496 and give it a test drive. So we'll go ahead and unplug the DEQ from the input and plug in our Pro Tools output. First thing we're gonna do is decide what dead key we want, what carrier level we want. So we'll go ahead and transmit. And we'll go ahead and set the carrier over here. We'll put all the controls counterclockwise for the Asymod. All our controls counterclockwise. That's the area down here. So the first thing we'll do is put up our carrier. And let's put it at a 2-watt carrier. Right there. And we'll set our reference here on the oscope. Two divisions. Right there. And now we'll start the SIGGEN 800 Hertz tone. And there we see our carrier starting to get modulated. We'll expand it a little bit. Next thing we'll do is bring up the modulation. We'll expand the frequency a little more. Set the trigger for channel 2. Okay. Level of the trigger right there.
Give it a little more modulation till we hit those 99% peaks. That's 100% right there. We want to pinch right around there. It's about 150% modulation. We'll leave it right there. And over there we can see the spectrum analyzer. So there we have it. From a 2-watt dead key. 2-watt dead key, let's readjust that. Once it warms up a little bit, you always got to go back and readjust a little bit. That's for 2, and modulated carrier. Beautiful. From a 2-watt carrier, we're going to 10 watts of PEP power. All right, so now we could disconnect our SIGGEN and connect our DEQ 2496 and give it a test run. So we'll go ahead and give it a little test run now. We have enabled the expander rather than the compressor on the DEQ 2496 to avoid background noise. As when you use the compressor, you don't have the gate, noise gate that's available while using the expander. So we've added that preset on the 2496, and now we're going to go ahead and transmit using the RA20. We're going to start recording here in Vegas. Recording started, and we're going to take off the station ID right now, and we're going to transmit.
Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the RA20 using the Personas 2 Pre into the EQ 2496 using the expander and a little bit of equalization on the GEQ. So there you have it. Now we're going to go ahead and test the station ID, and for that we unkey and turn on the station ID and then key again. So let's do that. So that's the station ID, and this is a 2-watt dead key. We're swinging to about 11-12 watts. That's about 200% modulation right there.
To order your special edition customized Asymod 19-inch rack mount console, give us a call or send us a message via our contact form on the Asymod page at asymod.am. Now, the station ID audio level is adjustable inside. So once you get this unit and set it to the levels that you like, one of the last things you do is go and adjust your station ID so it's at the correct level, that it's not too loud, that it's at the same level as your voice. Now we haven't changed anything. We're just going to compare the audio between the hand mic and the processed audio. So we'll start recording and we'll key up.
This is the RA20 with the processed audio coming out of the DEQ 2496. And then when we unplug the 1/4-inch connector in the rear of the Asymod, we'll have the
hand mic activated.
Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the hand mic, and it appears to be a little too loud, so what we'll do is we go to the mic gain on the radio and lower that so we don't go past 10 watts on the PEP meter. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test 1, 2. That's the hand mic.
Another feature you might find useful in the 19-inch rack mount Asymod console is the TX RF sampler. You simply connect the BNC jumper to your oscilloscope, and when you key up, you simply set your reference. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, and there you have it. You can monitor your audio envelope, your modulation envelope, with no need to have an extra RF coupler and your RF line. So there you have it. Next we'll test the Demod and the line-in monitor and how the monitor mix works between receive and transmit audio, that balance, which the audio coming out of the mix, you have a line output in the back that you can record into a computer or a recorder. So now we have split the output of the headphones to the headphones I'm wearing and to the input of the computer, and we're going to be listening to the audio coming out of the headphone jack here. So we'll transmit and start recording. And right now we're set for the Demod, which is in the bottom here. The bottom position, top position is the line in.
Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test 1, 2, 3. This is a demodulated audio, and as you can see, you can control the tone. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2. Audio test 1, 2. Audio test 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test. Testing 1, 2, 3. We can switch over to the line audio. Audio 1, 2. Audio 1, 2, 3. This is the line audio coming straight out of the DEQ 2496. By the way, all these recordings are being recorded off the audio coming out of the IC706 MK2G. That's what we're using for our receiver today. And that's what you have there. We can go ahead and test out the monitor mixer. And for that, we need to put the radio on the antenna, not the dummy load. And we'll do that right now. The static noise in the background, and we can mix that in. The transmitted audio, audio 1, 2, audio 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2. You could take out the receive completely, and all you would hear is the modulated audio 1, 2, 3, 4. So you set it right where it's both transmit and receive audio are at the same level, and you leave it right there. In the meantime, we'll just lower the volume because we don't care about receiving right now, and that's how it works. Next, we'll move into the recorder. When you transmit and you're using the Demod,
You can record yourself.
you press it once, you'll hear a beep, and you start recording. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test 1, 2.
Next, you press the playback. It'll kill the recording, and then it could play back.
You'll hear a beep, and you start recording. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test 1, 2.
You just heard the recorder recording the transmitted audio. When you go to the line in, you won't be able to record the transmitted audio because the audio is inserted at another stage in the Asymod, not at the line in point. So the VFO whine, we could just to sample, we could go to sideband here on the 706 MK2G, and we could look over there at the spectrum analyzer. You'll see the shift as we key up. So we'll turn on the VFO whine. Okay, now we'll take a look at the VFO whine effect, the heterodyne effect. So we'll go ahead and start recording here. And we have set the IC706 MK2G on lower sideband to be able to hear it. We don't have another carrier to write it up against, so we're going to be looking over there at the spectrum analyzer. You'll see that the fundamental frequency actually starts a little bit to the left of the red marker, and as time passes after we key up, you'll see the carrier move into the center frequency, which is 27,205 at the moment. So we'll key up. There you go. We'll do it again. You see, it's going to start over here on the left, and it's going to move into the center. And as you can hear, and record it there. Okay, we'll take off the VFO wine, but we'll leave it on. We'll put it back on, and we'll transmit.
Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test 1, 2. So this is the audio coming out of the IC706 MK2G. And that's what it sounds like. Using the RE20 and the DEQ2496 mastering processor. The Dr. Fox Special Edition 19-inch rack mount, the Asymod console.
This console will be available at the Asymod site with your choice of transceiver to put in it. So look for it soon. All right, thanks for taking a look at the video, and you're welcome to come visit our page at asymod.am and take a look at our Asymod products. You can always customize your own radio and make your own radio, so look at the options throughout the site. Thank you again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. Happy hi-fi. To get your customized special edition 19-inch rack mount Asymod console, give us a call or send us a message via the asymod.am contact form, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
So stay.